Good evening, I'm John Carter. Welcome to Poland Daily. Stanisław Karczewski, the Speaker of the Polish Senate, met with the Presidential Minister Paweł Mucha to discuss the constitutional referendum that the President is pushing through. It's no secret that this idea is considered very inconvenient by the ruling party. Today, a proposal was made for the referendum to be moved from Independence Day in November to May next year, to coincide with the May elections in the European Parliament.
If the President submits his Senate proposal for the referendum, there will be no more than 10 questions. There might also be fewer questions. There is also a possibility of modifications to the questions presented recently. The meeting lasted 40 minutes and the main questions are still unresolved, namely if the Senate agrees to organize the referendum and whether the referendum will take place still this year.
The
support for the referendum expressed by Mr. Speaker of the Senate is a strong voice of assurance that there is a need to change the constitution. I am happy that we are in agreement on that. I had the pleasure to inform Mr. Speaker that the number of questions of that national referendum will be limited. I repeatedly stated that I am in favor of the referenda, and I also said that the date of that particular constitutional referendum is very unfortunate. My judgment will be difficult. There are discrepancies here.
Politicians did not mention this at the press conference, but during the meeting a change of date for a referendum was considered. We talked with the Deputy Marshal of the Sejm, Ryszard Terlecki, who stated simply that a better solution would be to organize this referendum early next year.
The idea of the constitutional referendum creates various options. For example, the turnout might be poor for the date proposed by the President. This would not be good. Admittedly, this referendum is just for consultation. It is not designed to be obligatory. It does not require a certain threshold of turnout. Nevertheless, low turnout would not be desirable. Details still need to be worked out by the relevant parties.
The former CEO of Get Back, the second largest debt collection company in Poland, has been in prison for 3 months. Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki spoke on the matter today. According to the head of the Polish government, the Get Back case is another example of a scandal involving the previous coalition government of Civic Platform and the Polish People's Party.
This case is very similar to the Amber Gold scandal. Yet again, we have learned that the secret services did nothing to deal with the situation. Today, thanks to our efforts, everything worked like it should. The moment I received information about potential malpractices, I informed the Central Anti-Corruption Bureau. The Polish Development Fund, subordinate to my cabinet, took the matter to the prosecution immediately after discovering the problem. The court has confirmed the arrest of the former CEO of Get Back today. I'm very glad that the state institutions work much better than they did during the Civic Platform's and the Polish People's Party's term of office.
Yesterday was a sad day for Polish football fans. The national team lost their opening game against Senegal after 2 individual errors. Now the focus is on Sunday's fixture with Colombia, which will determine whether Poland will have a chance of playing in the knockout stage or Japan will be our last opponent in Russia.
Yesterday's match was disastrous for the Polish side. Nothing functioned well for Adam Nawałka's team. It was a nightmare performance. In my opinion, that was the Polish team's worst game since coach Nawałka took the reins back in 2013. Even the loss to Denmark was better, because at least we put up a fight there, and there was a strong Danish side, not a weak Senegal. The Polish team conceded both goals in preposterous fashion. These types of goals are seldom seen at this level of competition. The shot which led to Senegal's first goal should never have happened, and certainly should not have been defended like that. This ball was not even on target, so it would not have gone in were it not for Cionek's touch. The second goal was just a dire lack of concentration. The tactics for Tuesday's game were a complete failure. The starting 11 was poorly chosen. Our team pales in comparison with players from Western Europe. Coach Nawałka always tries to choose the lesser evil. This time he failed to do so. On Sunday, Poland will face Colombia in Kazan. This game will be a do-or-die affair as the South American side also lost their first fixture. The question remains whether Poland will be able to mentally recover from their devastating opener. Football is extremely unpredictable, but I doubt that they can play worse than they did with Senegal. I know all is not lost. We should not lose hope. A win against Colombia on Sunday will give us a fighting chance of getting out of Group H. Our next opponent lost to Japan 2-1, just like our team did against the African side.
There were disturbing scenes on the American-Mexican border today. As of April, the United States have applied a zero-tolerance policy, and any immigrants illegally crossing the border immediately face charges and are arrested. However, children of the would-be immigrants are separated from their parents and placed in special facilities.
Under current law, we have only two policy options to respond to this massive crisis. We can either release all illegal immigrant families and minors who show up at the border from Central America, or we can arrest the adults for the federal crime of illegal entry.
Donald Trump has asked Congress to allow the sending back of families along with their children from the border.
So what I'm asking Congress to do is to give us a third option, which we have been requesting since last year, the legal authority to detain and promptly remove families together as a unit. We have to be able to do this. This is the only solution to the border crisis. We have to stop child smuggling. This is the way to do it. And ultimately, we have to have a real border.
The American president accused Mexico of doing nothing to prevent the flow of illegal immigrants to the United States. He also stressed that he wants to find the best solution to the difficult situation on the border.
We want to solve this problem. We want to solve family separation. I don't want children taken away from parents. And when you prosecute the parents for coming in illegally, which should happen, you have to take the children away. Now, we don't have to prosecute them, but then we're not prosecuting them for coming in illegally. That's not good.
We want to deeply condemn this cruel and inhuman policy. Mexico recognizes and respects the sovereignty of the United States and its right to decide about its internal affairs. The Mexican government has never promoted illegal migration, yet we can't be inert to such violation of human rights due to our constitution and our moral values. The conflict heats up as the US ambassador in the UN announced yesterday that the United States are leaving the Human Rights Council of the United Nations.
Has been a protector of human rights abusers and a cesspool of political bias. Regrettably, it is now clear that our call for reform was not heeded. Human rights abusers continue to serve on and be elected to the Council. The world's most inhumane regimes continue to escape scrutiny. And the Council continues politicizing and scapegoating of countries with positive human rights records in an attempt to distract from the abusers in their ranks. Therefore, as we said we would do a year ago, if we did not see any progress, the United States is officially withdrawing from the UN Human Rights Council.
The migration crisis is without doubt one of the most pressing issues today. Unfortunately, the ones suffering the most because of it are children.
Thank you for joining us here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily Business.